Oh, I just spit. Gross. Happy week 4 of Camp NaNoWriMo. Today is Tuesday, and I can't believe we're in week 4 already. I'm just going for my walk at work, and it is gorgeous outside today. I think it must be 70 degrees or something. I have so much in my head right now. I might actually have to talk about this later because it's such a nice day, there's a lot of other people going for walks right now. I don't want to start talking about all these things on my mind and then keep being interrupted by people walking by, so I'm just gonna have to take up this conversation again later, but just wanted to say hi. I was able to get in a whopping 2 hours of work on my book done this morning before work, which felt really good. And yeah, I'll check in with you guys a little bit later. Good morning, it is Wednesday morning and I'm coming at you once again with a towel on my head because I just got out of the shower. And I thought this is actually a perfect time for me to talk about one of the many things that was on my mind yesterday, and that is courage or bravery, or you can call it what you will, naivety and creativity. When my sister came to stay with me the other week, she told me while we were talking in the car that she thought I was very brave to have a YouTube channel and to put myself out there. And I said something to the effect of, well, I'm either brave or maybe I'm just really naive. Like, that I would get on the camera without any makeup on my face, with a towel on my head sometimes, with the camera up at like really unflattering angles a lot of the time, and that I put myself out on the internet where literally anybody can see me. I don't know, I've been thinking about that more recently, like, why am I not more embarrassed about this? Why do I not feel the need to protect myself more, or to try to present myself in a more flattering light if I'm going to be on the internet for everyone? And I think it's because in my mind, I care more about being a part of this community than I care about looking good, maybe? I don't know. It's kind of a hard thing to describe what I get out of YouTube. I really like the friends that I've made here, and I like feeling like a part of this community. And in my mind, the only people who are watching me are other people who don't really care about how pretty I am or how flattering the angle of my camera is. They're here because, I mean, you guys are here watching me because you're going through a similar journey, and hopefully watching me somehow makes you feel more motivated, or makes you feel heard, or like, yeah, there's someone else out there who's going through the same thing I am, having similar struggles, or maybe you get ideas from me by the way I do things. I don't know, whatever the reasons are that you're watching me, that's what I think about when I'm filming, and I don't think so much about how I look. And along that line, I've always been the kind of person who would rather make a fool of myself than to have someone else make a fool of me. it's almost like I would rather make myself a fool first and be able to laugh along with people than to try really hard to come off as put together and then have someone else notice one of my flaws and point it out and laugh at me. And so like in pictures, I'm always the one to like make a goofy face for a picture, and I've always been that way. It's kind of like, if you think about it, celebrities who always look really put together, it seems like the paparazzi are always trying to catch the moment when they're not put together so they can plaster it all over magazines everywhere. Like, oh look, she has a muffin top in this bathing suit, or look, she went somewhere without makeup on, and now it's plastered everywhere. But Jack Black, on the other hand, who cares? He accepts roles that are really unflattering. I mean, a lot of comedians do this. But so nobody cares to find them looking unflattering or to catch them in a bad moment, because they willingly offer their bad moments. I don't really know how to explain what I'm thinking, but this has just been on my mind in fragmented thoughts, I guess, and I'm trying to put them together now for you guys on camera. Please comment below if you know what I'm getting at or what I'm talking about. But basically, I was thinking that maybe we need a little bit of that as writers, or maybe we need, actually, definitely, we need that as writers. We need a lot of that as writers. Just this, whether it's naivety or it's bravery, we just need a part of us to not care about judgment or care what people think so much, because I feel like that really stunts creativity. I'm trying to get my book ready to send to beta readers, as I've said 1,000,000,001 times in these vlogs. And yes, the thoughts come to me that, oh my gosh, what if people read this and they realize I'm not as good of a writer as maybe they thought I was? Maybe by talking about writing so much on YouTube, I'm giving people the idea that I'm somehow good at it, and they're going to read my book and realize, like, wow, this is actually not very good, and that would be really embarrassing. Some of you who watch my videos have offered to beta read for me, and I'm so grateful for that. And yes, there's a big part of me that's like, what if they read it and then they're like, wow, Rayleigh's a terrible writer and this book is not interesting at all, and I'm embarrassed to tell her this, and now things are awkward. You know, of course I have thoughts like that. Everybody does. It's just natural. It's human nature to be afraid of what people are going to think of you. And of course I have those things, but I ignore them because there's something else that I want more. And what I want more is I want to get better at my writing. And the only way I'm going to get better is if somebody reads it and tells me what's wrong with it so that I can improve it. When I started writing when I was younger, I used to post my stories to Fiction Press online, and the stories were not that great. They were, you know, the fantasies of a little girl. I was learning how to write at the time. I don't remember the thought ever occurring to me that someone's gonna make fun of this. Even though I had older siblings who made fun of things that I wrote all the time. I had a Little Mermaid book that had illustrations in it that sometimes looked unintentionally dirty, and my sisters laughed at it, and I eventually threw it away because I was embarrassed. But I learned from that mistake that I shouldn't have thrown it away. I should have just tried to fix it. And going forward from there, I didn't let mockery or negative reviews or negative comments that I got on my stories stop me from writing. I was just like, okay, this person just doesn't like it. Maybe it's easier to be that way when you're young, before you experience a lot of rejection. But either way, I feel like I'm really grateful for that time in my life that I just posted my stories online, and with every story, hopefully, I think I got better and better. And that, I think, just kind of created my writerly mindset, which is that people will read this, some of them will like it, some of them won't. I will get good and bad responses to it, and I can learn from the bad ones and embrace the good ones and be really grateful that somebody likes it. And I still feel that way about my writing. If I were just so afraid of what people thought of my writing, or what you guys would think of my videos when I'm like, ooh, really up close and you can see all the pores in my face and my red nose, my red face, I wouldn't post these things if I let fear, you know, get in the way. And then I wouldn't have made the friends that I've made on here. I wouldn't have grown in all the ways that I've grown since I started my channel, or all the ways that I've grown as a writer. I feel like giving into those fears just stunts your growth. And again, maybe I'm being naive about this, but that's just kind of how I see things. Is like, okay, yeah, I might have to put myself out there in embarrassing ways, but hopefully I'll learn from them and grow, and hopefully people won't remember the embarrassing stuff. They'll just Well, maybe they will, but I forget the embarrassing stuff. I actually don't go back that often and look at my old videos because I'm like, oh, that's embarrassing. But I also don't take it down because I'm like, well, I've grown since then and I kind of want to be able to see that growth. And I would like other people who watch my channel to be able to see that growth in me as well. Maybe because it'll encourage them to start their own channel and trust that things won't always be as bad as they look right now. Hopefully my quality is improving with every video. That's what I try to do, and hopefully with my writing, the quality will improve with every book that I write. So I'm not terrified of Untamable being an imperfect book. I know that it will be. I mean, yeah, the fear is there, but I don't give in to it. It's not really a thing for me. It's like, okay, it will be an imperfect book, but it will be way better than the first time I published it online, and it'll be better than anything else I've ever written, and everything that comes after it hopefully will just keep getting better and better. So I know those were like kind of long-winded thoughts, but I would really like to hear your guys' thoughts on them. Did any of this even make sense to you? Do you ever let fear hold you back from doing things? Was there ever a time in your life that you let fear stop you from trying something new that you regret now? Are there times that you wish you had let fear hold you back because something really humiliating happened and maybe you could have spared yourself if you had just listened to that fearful voice? I don't know. And do you think I should be embarrassed about coming on camera this way? Because I do try to look nice for the camera, I promise. But sometimes these moments like this, literally this is probably the only chance I'm going to get today to talk about this on camera, and I didn't want to let that time pass by trying to make myself look nice and then realize, oh, now I have to go to work and now I'm not going to be able to talk about this, you know? So the thoughts were fresh in my mind now. I wanted to get them out, and this just happens to be how I look right now. And you know what? Sometimes you guys look like this too. Admit it. We all do. We're just humans. We don't have to look like Kardashians all the time, or ever, really. Anyways, I'm going to just shut up now because it's actually time for me to get ready for work, and I will hopefully be able to log in and talk with you guys a little bit later. Okay, it is still Wednesday, and I'm at work now, going for my daily walk. If you watched last week's vlog, then you know that I have been cutting words from my novel by the thousands. My goal is to cut 30,000 words from the first part of my book alone. I don't think I'll have to cut as many words later on in the novel. I think the reason why I have so many words, the first part of my novel, is because I wrote that part of the novel during my first NaNoWriMo that I actually won. And I think I was just so excited about getting a lot of words in that I just way overwrote the beginning. So with that realization, that kind of got me thinking about NaNoWriMo and word count in general as a means of pushing yourself to write more. And is it really that effective if I'm ending up cutting so many words? So many of those words that I spent the entire month pushing myself to write. And the conclusion that I've come to is that I don't feel like it was a waste. I feel like I've definitely learned from it. I've done another round of NaNoWriMo since then, and several rounds of camp NaNoWriMo. And I've learned from that first NaNoWriMo experience that I can't just focus solely on getting a lot of words in. I need to be actively moving the plot forward. And I feel like I learned that during NaNoWriMo of this last November. That's when it really clicked in my mind that it's not so much about how much the volume of what I'm writing, it's about moving the story forward, and then I can add things in later if I need to. So the last half of my book is a lot more sparse than the first half, but it gets things moving more quickly. The pacing is a lot better because my goal was actually to move the story forward. So I've definitely learned from that. And then during the first Nano experience, is it a waste that I wrote so many words that didn't really take the story anywhere? And again, I say I don't think it was a waste because who knows, maybe I will end up using some of that extra fluff that I wrote. I'm taking it all out right now, but once I send to beta readers, they're either going to tell me that they wish there was a little bit more, or they're going to tell me to cut even more. I learned a ton about my protagonist while I was writing so much about her and where she is coming from, and her school life and all of that. And yes, I created a lot of characters in the beginning that are getting cut now, but some of them, I don't know, I might use later in their own stories. So that was just a really long-winded way of saying I don't feel like it was a waste. I'm really grateful for everything that I learned from that. I think even if the world is not going to see all those words that I wrote, I'm grateful that I know them and that I wrote them and was able to work things out in my mind. So I don't know, I just feel like NaNoWriMo, whether it's in November or the Camp NaNoWriMo events, they're just like a learning and growing experience. And if I hadn't won that first NaNoWriMo, I don't know if I would have started my YouTube channel or gone on this entire journey that I've gone on with my book so far. So just interesting, just what I was thinking about. How do you like to push your work forward? Are you a word count person? Are you just a write for a certain amount of time every day kind of person? Are you a zero draft person? I feel like I'm still trying to figure out what kind of writer I am, and that's okay. Every part of the writing process, as I get to the end of it, I think I know what kind of a writer I am, and then I start the next process and realize I'm still figuring it out, and I feel like it's just going to be that way for every book that I write. It's just going to be different. But anyways, it's enough chatter for now. I'm just going to enjoy this lovely day and get back to work. Good morning, folks. It's another beautiful day in Salt Lake City, Utah, with a high of 70 degrees and not a cloud in the sky. That was a mouthful. It is Saturday, so I'm just letting out my kitty for a little bit to enjoy the sunshine, and it is so nice again. Yay! We had a lot of rain last night, but just watered all the flowers, so yay. So last night we went and saw Endgame, the Avengers Endgame, and I won't spoil anything, but I thought it was the perfect ending to the Avengers saga. I cried a single tear. Patrick cried too. And now I kind of have a movie hangover a little bit today, but that's okay. I'm going to spend the whole day. I have so much that I want to get done in my book today that I just don't even want to think or worry about anything else. So that's what I'm going to start doing right now. And I'm definitely going to meet my camp goal today. So I'm going to claim my win, and then I'm just going to keep working. Okay, I just have to give a really quick shout out to Jessica Froberg and her video, How to Write a Book Kinda. I just found her. I think she's pretty new to AuthorTube. She does not have nearly as many subscribers as she deserves, because this video is hilarious and so relatable, so true. I highly recommend that you go and watch it. I'm gonna have it linked below. But yeah, go and show her some love, because I feel like that video is golden. I'm not distracted. You're distracted. Oh boy, it is almost 3:30 now. So I have been writing for a total of, let's see, I think it's been 6 hours. I'm gonna call it 5 though. Either way, I have one Camp NaNoWriMo, woohoo! But I haven't put it in, I haven't logged it into the website yet, so I'm gonna claim my win a little bit later. For right now though, I just felt so driven to get to push to a certain point in the book. I mean, I still have a bunch of other things I want to get done today, so I need to get groceries and stuff like that, and I still want to work on my book some more. So Patrick is out running errands right now, debating on whether or not I should take a shower right now or keep working on my book, because I would still like to get further. I'm gonna take a shower, but for the moment Simon is really enjoying it outside. He's not very good at playing fetch necessarily, because he doesn't bring the sticks back, but he likes it when I throw sticks and he goes and pounces on them. Woohoo! Yay! Yay! Alright guys, I'm gonna close out this vlog here because it is already way too long. I just claimed my win for Camp NaNoWriMo. It is Monday morning. Technically, I could have claimed my win on Saturday. I wrote for about 5 hours, I think 6 hours technically, but I counted 5 just to be on the safe side. And then wrote for another hour yesterday, so I finished camp with a total of 33 hours. And yeah, so I hope that camp is going well for all of you, whether you win or not. I am proud of you for the work that you've gotten done, and thank you guys so much for joining me on this journey. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!
Come take a walk with me. We'll cross over the mountains and we'll reach the pale blue sea. I love you, I'm so glad you love me too. And I wrote this song for you, every word